Hello, everybody.
My name is Isela.
My name is Nicole, and this is Muchachalacas.
Cheers. Welcome back.
We know it's been a little bit, stuff happened, but we're here now. And we ran a poll the last time.
With a bit of screenshots.
Yes, so we ran a poll with like different topics we wanted to talk about, but we gave y'all the choice.
Mm-hmm.
And Urban Legends won first place.
It won by a landslide, didn't it?
Yeah. So, okay, I have the count. So, urban legends and conspiracy theories. We're not doing conspiracy theories. Just to make it
I kind of forgot that it was like
yeah. It won by 32. Then Reddit stories won by 20. True crime was 14, and then scary stories was 12.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. We're delivering.
We will tackle the rest of them
in order
another time.
Yeah. I guess we're going to do it in order of winning.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So catch us with the Reddit next time. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about urban legends today.
Yes. And welcome to all of our new subscribers.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. We're so thankful for all of you.
We love you all. That's so cool. That's so cool.
I know. I was so excited.
I know.
Oh my god, I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, it was like, you know how Gen Z and millennials are always, yeah. So, I don't know what we were roasting them for this time. I think it was something about skinny jeans or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
Skinny jeans.
No, I can't remember exactly what she was talking about. She said, you know what Gen Z is going to go down for that's not going to age well? And she was like, it's this. What the heck is this?
I do that constantly. I
thought it was funny. So I was like, I can see how that would go down bad.
Anytime something like fun happens or something exciting happens, I go, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know who
started it.
No, I mean, like, I'm such a pick up like someone else's manners kind of person, and I don't know who around me does that. My little.
Oh, maybe she does it because of you. Who knows?
I'm like an earworm, but for everything else.
Get it, boys.
There you go. Another thing that I saw real quick about the things like that Gen Z does, it's like, remember how Chevron was the thing in the 2010s?
Yeah.
They were like comparing like home decor and stuff like that. And a lot of like those houses had Chevron and like, I don't know if you remember those like golden pineapples. Like
yeah.
What were they, like paperweights or something? Like,
I don't even know what they were.
Just
but yes, I do remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mushrooms for us. And I'm like, wait, that's real.
I can see that because you know how they have like the mushroom little shelves?
Yeah.
People have those.
I'm like, I have a pillow with like little mushrooms on it, and I'm like, oh no.
I have a little mushroom that my mom gave me. It's ceramic, but I have it in the office.
Cute. Oh.
I wonder what Gen Alpha will be. Like a pine tree.
Something silly like a
coconut. Just imagine a banana.
I'm like, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. Or maybe they just won't even have decorations. Who knows?
It's just like
they're being raised by like the beige moms.
So yeah, almond moms. Yay! Okay, so we both picked some urban legends to talk about with you guys.
2 each.
Yes. And I don't know, I'm excited. If you guys haven't watched our last Urban Legends episode, you should.
You totally should, because I think so far that's been one of my favorite episodes.
It was so interesting.
It was fun. Yeah.
It was so good.
It was our second episode, so go easy on us. Yeah. But I think it was genuinely interesting.
It was so interesting. And the outfits, the background, all of it.
The efforts.
The food tasting.
It was fun. Me burning my butt on like your Christmas lights.
It's
beautiful. Yeah. I was like, every so often I would have to shoot.
I think it's so authentic.
It's beautiful. And we recommend, highly recommend.
Mm-hmm. This is part 2.
Part 2 Urban Legends. And it's probably going to be a series because there's so many urban legends to talk about.
There are so many urban legends.
And if you have any suggestions, please let us know because it'd be so fun.
Like, if there's I don't know. I think my favorite part about urban legends is that they're so geographical. Is that the word?
Yeah,
they're like
geographically like separate or like similar.
Both, because like there's so many different versions of La Llorona. Like
true,
so many different. I don't know, like boogeymans.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I'll mention that with one of my stories.
Me too. That's why I brought it up, because when I was searching these, I was like, wait.
You're like, I've heard that before.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm so excited for today's episode. Okay.
Let's get into it.
Hit it. Let's do it.
Okay. So my first one, I need help pronouncing it from Nicole.
El sombrerón.
Him.
The big hat man. Because el sombrerón is literally just a big hat.
A big hat, yeah.
Because sombrero is just a hat. Sombrerón, it's a big hat.
And that was our
word of the day.
Like our annual Spanish lesson.
Annual?
I feel like say weekly, but like
I feel like that's our bi-monthly Spanish lesson.
Not the bi-monthly. Okay. Have you heard of him before?
No, I haven't. This is new to me.
Okay. So I saw this on TikTok, and then I did more research about it because I was like surprised that I had never heard about him before. But then I was like,
is it a Mexican one?
Guatemalan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then it goes back to that whole thing of like, there's different versions of him everywhere, you know?
Okay.
So this man is like there was like 2 towns that I had seen that he typically is like found in, you know? 2 that I also don't know how to say. But I also didn't put like the accents. That's a C.
La Recolección.
Yes.
Parroquia Vieja.
Yes.
Good job.
Thanks. Anyways, yes. So this man is often seen in those places still. I don't know if this is like I just don't know if it's like a thing where
I feel like that was such a loud gulp. I apologize.
You know I'm gonna edit it over that.
The last episode was so embarrassing when it was like it was like, wow.
Anyways, yes, so this man, I want to describe his look before like we talk about who he is. Okay, so we can get the image. He also is kind of boogeyman vibes. Okay. And so he is short. He's in the website said black dress, so I'm imagining that means kind of like mariachi style,
like black on black.
Yes, but
traje version.
Is that what it means?
Traje is like a charro sort of look.
Then yes, that's what I imagined. Yeah,
we'll include a picture.
Yeah. So like thick, and I have the word loud belt. I know I abbreviated that to be like a big flashy belt. Yeah. And then obviously large hat. And noisy boots that like very obvious, you can tell when he's walking around. So basically what he does is he likes long hair.
Thank God I cut mine.
So he likes women with long hair and big eyes is what it said. And it also said he just likes to like play with hair. So he like braids horse tails, like long dog hair. Have you heard of him?
No, I've heard of a different urban like mythical creature that does that.
Oh, that's scary.
I'll talk about it right now.
Yes, do it. So it says that he courts ladies with long hair and big eyes, and he will serenade them, make them fall in love with him, and like, I don't know, he just loves women.
Them away.
Yeah, he woos them.
Is that really bad?
It's kind of, like what I had seen on a Reddit post is that he basically like sugar daddies them. You know, like he just makes them fall so hard for him. And then the crazy part is that they can't live without him. Like once, if he's not there, like all the food that they eat tastes like soil. Like he makes their food taste terrible.
What?
Yeah. Which is crazy.
So he will literally, so if they can't live without him, do they die? Literally die? Because the food tastes bad, so they starve to death or some shit?
Yeah, I would assume so. Which is kind of scary.
That's terrible. Okay,
and
never mind. That's not a good thing. He doesn't love women.
No, yeah. No. He loves women that love him.
He just likes attention. He's a narcissist. Like every man. Not me in my man-hating era.
Real. So he travels with mules and they carry coal. I actually did not look into the significance behind this, but I'm not like sure Santa if it Claus? Really like
so he just gives coal to the women weird. He doesn't like.
Some Verone.
Sombrerone.
Embarrassing. Anyways, okay. So the legend behind him
and Sombrerone
behind him is that he lived in the neighborhood
La Recolección.
Yes. And a young woman named Susanna. How would you say it? Susanna lived there. She was the daughter of a woman who owned a store. Beautiful, beautiful girl, obviously. That's how all of these legends have it. The most gorgeous woman. Yeah. Long hair, big eyes, you know. As we've discussed previously.
Me, I'm just kidding.
Are you
used to... No. No, I used to have long hair. I chopped it off. Dude, when I went in, so off topic, but when I went in to get my haircut, it was literally up to my, like, where my jeans are. It was that long. I don't even
remember your long hair.
Yeah, it was like up to where my jeans start. It was up to my booty.
How many inches was that?
Like, a lot.
A lot.
Because where's my hair now?
Yeah.
So you can imagine how much that was.
That's
I can make a wig. I can make a wig. You should have seen the floor. You should have seen the floor when I got up. I was like, oh. Yeah.
Yikes.
Anyway.
That's good though.
Continue.
I bet your head felt very light after that.
I felt like they cut. Like, I felt like I got a buzz cut. Like, I felt like like I had no hair. I was like, whoa.
Anyways, okay, so one night, I forgot to mention this earlier, but he comes out on full moons, like most urban legends do. And so Susanna was sitting on her balcony admiring, you know, the night sky, the stars, the moon, and a short character with a big hat and a guitar.
I love how they mention how short he is. Is he a short king? A little 5'2".
I fear he might be.
He's like this tall.
That's why he needs a woman to love him.
Just kidding. Oh.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yikes.
Little man syndrome.
He was amazed by her beauty. He began to serenade her with a song, and at that moment, her parents found out that she was outside and made her go back inside the house. And since that day, she was no longer able to sleep because this man appeared in her house or singing to her from the street, serenading her. And she could not eat because every time she was eating food, it tasted like soil, which is weird. And so her parents were worried and they cut her hair and they took it to the church so that the priest would like put holy water on it, pray for it, yes. And then like the next day he stopped appearing and her food started tasting normal. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what I thought when you said that the food started tasting like dirt and all of this, I thought it was because the girls were in love with him.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because like they just needed to.
It's more like he's like possessing them.
Yeah, like making it to where they need him. Not like where they want him, but like he needs to be there. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like different names for him. And I guess in English, like they had referred to him as the Goblin. That's like his English urban legend name.
I've like never heard of the Goblin.
Me neither. But it says he's basically just a boogeyman for young ladies.
Great, as if we needed another one.
Right?
There's enough.
One at that.
was like, there's enough real ones. Do we really need a fake one?
It says, to go back to the mule thing, it says he arrives in town with a pack of mules, and when he finds a woman that suits his taste, he ties his mules up outside her house and serenades her with a silver guitar. A guitar made of silver would probably sound terrible. That's like a note in quote.
I mean, yeah, probably, because it doesn't have the hollow acoustic of like a guitar. But also, what if she doesn't have like a pole for you to tie your mules to? How do you leave it there?
Don't. Back in the day, don't most like.
Yeah, but you said he still shows up, doesn't he?
Maybe he goes because his mules are still there.
He ties it up to the car.
I'm like, when exactly does this take place? Anyways, it says when he gets her back home, he's known to serve them soil for dinner, which renders them unable to sleep. But it also says in quotations, we're not sure why that they eat dirt or if the dirt has any properties that cause them insomnia other than messing with their stomach. So I really don't understand how that fits into it all.
Into the story?
Yeah. Maybe it's just like what we said. Like he just...
Maybe because he wants to starve them to the point that they need him around to have food taste good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
But then, yeah, it talks about Susanna and how he returned each night to serenade her, and it was impossible for her to sleep. And whenever her parents would try to feed her, she'd find the food contaminated with dirt. And then, fed up, the parents cut the girl's hair and had it blessed by a
Okay, I have a question. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
How did the parents know that it was the hair?
I don't know. Maybe that's just like a like a thing that they were like, we need to do something
and make her look different. I don't know. Because honestly, why would they know that it was the hair?
I know. Maybe they were just like making precautions.
I don't know. Ladies, keep your hair short. Stay safe.
The bobs are back.
The bobs are pixie cuts. Love them.
That's what the next line says. It says, naturally this caused the goblin to stop bothering her, either because of the holy water or because he didn't like chicks with pixie cuts.
You know what to do.
Oh, okay. This says, culturally, this story does exactly what it sounds like it does. It scares young girls into obeying their parents and into being modest and coy around men. Observe those cultural norms, ladies, or you will be forced to eat dirt by a short, ugly stalker in a big hat like that guy you knew in college that wanted to be a Disney Imagineer. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my legend.
I can see how they would. I totally don't think that it's real. I
don't think so either.
I don't think, but I do see how like a man would have made this up to make his women, like the women in his household, more like tameable.
Yeah. But anyways, I thought it was interesting because it kind of gives me the same vibes as the one with the tree in the graveyard that we talked about. Like it feels the same to me. Or was it him, or it was the vampire, right? The one who lived in the town and you could hear him on the horses.
Oh no, that's La Carreta de la Muerte.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It gives me the same vibes as that.
Yeah, where it's just kind of like, oh, don't go out at night.
Never mind. Yes, so that is mine. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
It is interesting. And I was going to mention something to you about the thing that you said about the braids. And maybe we can talk about this other, like, legend, I guess. I don't know if it's a legend, but this mythical creature. They're duendes.
The forks.
Yes. So
we've been wanting to talk about this.
Yeah. We need to do it. Yes. But so the duendes, they're also known to braid hair. Yeah. So people who have horses, who have pets with long hair, they'll wake up and they'll have braids, but they have like a very particular way of braiding. Look, this is like the types of braids that they'll wake up and they will see on their animals. Like they're very particular. What? They'll do it on children too. Because the duendes mainly are attracted to children because they're the ones who can like see them and stuff. But they're very mischievous. Some people believe they're evil. I personally don't think they're good, but I don't think they're fully evil either. I feel like they're just extremely mischievous, but I haven't done enough research. I just know that they do this type of braid. So when you said that, I was like, wait, that sounds familiar.
Nicole told me that they live in my house.
It's because I heard that.
Wait, before you explain that, should I say why you said that?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so at my home, a lot of my forks started going missing. And we have like 7,000 spoons and 4 forks. And, you know, when you buy, what is it, cutlery?
Yeah.
It comes
like
in
silverware?
packages. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is cutlery?
Wait, is it silverware?
Yeah, it is, but like, it's cutlery. I don't know. Anyways. So they started going missing. We used to have a bunch, and now I don't know what happened to them. And I told Nicole, and she said,
I said that the duendes are taking his. When I saw videos about duendes, they say that it's very common for them to take your things. That's why you have like, but they're very attracted to like forks in particular. So they will steal your forks. If you have duendes in your house, they'll steal your forks. They'll steal your socks. They'll steal things like if you random things that you know wouldn't just go missing. It's probably because you have a duende in your house.
That's crazy.
Don't ask me how you recover the things. I don't think you do.
They're probably underneath my house in their home.
They're in some different. They're in Narnia somewhere. Like I don't know, but I do know that they were like attracted to forks for some reason.
It's so crazy that we're talking about this though, because I was gonna tell you and I forgot. But a knife went missing a couple of days ago. Isn't that scary? And it was the knife my whole family loves. The knife
like,
that
who
we
took
all
it?
used. Yeah,
that's
what could have happened
See?
to it?
Duendes.
And I was like, we didn't accidentally throw it in the trash. It was the elves that live underneath our house.
No, it had to have been because why else? I'm convinced you have duendes because you also live in a very rural area.
Yeah,
rural.
Sounds like I'm throwing up when I say that word.
It just sounds like I can't get the vowels out, and it's really frustrating to me. I'm like rural.
The doesn't even sound
like
real.
I'm barking.
I feel like a cat going.
Mango at 3 a.m. Yeah, so I'm like convinced she has duendes in her house.
I guess we'll find out if any more.
If you know how to get rid of them, if you know about duendes and you know how to get rid of them, please tell us because I really want to know.
I'm desperate.
My forks are missing, and my knife.
I just hope no more go missing. If they do, I'll let you guys know.
You know what? That used to happen to me and my brother at one of the apartments that we used to live in. We had like 30 spoons. I kid you not, like a billion spoons. We had like 4 forks.
It sounds like you might have had them too.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. Like at some point it stopped. I'm assuming it's because we moved.
I was gonna say maybe when you moved, they came over to my house.
They like latched onto you. Yeah. I don't know.
Yikes.
All right, so I'm gonna talk about mine. I chose to talk about skinwalkers.
But
now, before I start, I do want to say a quick disclaimer. I know that this specific, I want to say it's a legend, but I also don't because it's part of the Navajo Nation. It's a cultural thing, and I personally believe it's real. Mm-hmm. I believe it's real, so I don't want to say it's an urban legend, but I know that some people out there don't think it's real. So that's why we put it in this category. Yeah. However, I do fully believe it's real, especially living in Arizona where the Navajo Nation is present. I feel like
I don't even want to say it out loud, but I believe it too. It just scares me to think about things that are real because I don't want it to happen to me.
I know. And I also have heard that if you say the word too many times or like talk about them, you like attract them.
I have heard that, but the way I heard it was like if you say it during a certain season of the year.
Is it the season?
I don't know.
Are we
That's just what I.
Are we in season? Because I'm genuinely like. So if any of you are part of the Navajo Nation, no disrespect. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I know that a lot of things within the tribe are confidential. So I don't have a ton of information.
And stories change online.
Yeah, and stories change online. And everything that I have is from online. So I do apologize if I get anything wrong. Mm-hmm. If it's wrong, please correct me nicely.
Should we not say the word just in case?
I don't want to. I'm going to say SW.
Is that a mouthful? I mean, you could say something.
Or should I just say it?
No. Let's not risk it.
I think it's worse when you say it in Navajo.
Okay.
So let's get
just
started.
Call them, what can we call them?
Shapeshifters?
Oh yeah, we can call them shapeshifters. Seems like a mouthful too.
It's either way.
Fine, yeah.
So a lot of the information that I got is from I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it's Shanklan Shadow Productions. He is part of the nation, of Navajo Nation, and he made a video about it, like kind of
overviewing it.
Well, just basically saying I'm from there. I've had many experiences with it.
Okay.
This is what I know, and don't believe most of the things you see online. And I believe him.
Yeah.
So
sounds credible.
Sounds like exactly. So essentially what a shapeshifter is in this case is someone that has the ability to transform into an animal, and they have other abilities, but I'll get into that. So the skinwalker, a shapeshifter, yikes, specifically are from the Navajo tribe, and they originated hundreds of years ago when they were originally like medicinal people, like people who would help other people. But they would have to like travel to the sacred mountains. And from his video, he said that they were spread between Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico. Yeah. Which is right. Yeah. So they would have to like travel on foot to get to these mountains, perform the ceremony, but it would all be for good, you know? However, they only had so much time to get to the mountains to do the ceremony. Yeah. So because it had to be done quickly, they would be taught to shapeshift. Ooh. So they were taught to shapeshift before. However, in order to master shapeshifting, it was hard. It wasn't like something that just came to you.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So it was like something that took years for you to be able to do. And there was people who became impatient, I guess you can say, who just wanted to have the ability like yesterday. And so they started looking into evil forces, which he didn't talk about all of the things that these people had to do in order to become shapeshifters, but he did say that they had to do a really dark thing, which was to unalive an immediate family member.
Why is it always like that?
I don't know, but it is. And so it has to be like either your lover, a sibling, a mom, a dad, a grandparent, because I don't know if a cousin counts.
Just like,
but
someone like very closely.
Exactly, like a very close loved one. Yeah. And so once they complete all of the tasks, they gain this ability, but they basically become pure evil. Yeah.
It just doesn't really sound like worth it, because if the whole reason that they're doing it is to help people and then they become evil.
Well, they say that it's because they become corrupt.
Oh, by the power?
Yeah, because they're greedy. Yeah, that's why they call them the evil ones, from what I saw online.
I see.
But and a really curious thing about this is that within the culture, most of the shapeshifters are men and not women, and they're believed to be witches. So, isn't that curious?
Yeah.
Because usually when you picture witches and stuff, you picture a woman. Yeah. Or they make it seem like it's a woman. In this case, it's men.
Huh. I feel like there's another name for a male witch, though.
Definitely not a warlock. I don't think that's what they would call them here, though, in this situation.
I don't know what it is, but
well, I don't know. Everywhere I read online, it just says witch.
I mean, witch sounds about right.
Yeah. Like, it says it's a type of witch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so most of them are men and not women, which I also thought was curious, because in reality, most men are the ones who commit heinous crimes like that to begin with. They have it right on the dot. Anyway. So they are typically known to appear as wolves, coyotes, foxes, eagles, owls, crows, and people. And they are blamed. Yeah, they are blamed when things go wrong, like if there's crop failures, bad marriages, sickness, sudden death, you name it. It's on them.
So wait, after they would is transform the right word, become the shapeshifters, did they still live amongst the tribe?
I was gonna get to that. Yes. Sorry, that was probably a really loud gulp. I was trying to get to my point. I apologize. I was trying to I have the answer. Wait. So yes, from what he said, for the most part, he thinks it's rare, but they might travel outside of the reservation. However, it's pretty much just within the Navajo Nation.
Okay.
So that's why when people are like, well, I'm in Appalachia and I saw a skin, it's probably not. Or if they're like, I'm in Virginia or whatever.
I'm in Montana.
Yeah. Because I was trying to look for encounters on Reddit, and for the most part, they were all on the east side. But that would be incredibly rare.
It would be a different form of something like that.
And I was going to get to that. Yeah, because there's another creature called a Wendigo that is very similar. They have so many similarities, which is another fact about what we were talking about. Like the geographical locations change, but it's essentially the same.
Yeah.
It's like that. So the Wendigo is like similar, but it's different.
Yeah.
But they have very similar qualities. I guess you can say characteristics, if you will.
Yeah.
So, and
maybe, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go.
I was gonna say maybe the thing I said about not saying the word during like a season, maybe it was about
Wendigos.
Yeah.
I have no idea, and if you know, please let us know. But they do have a lot of similarities. And when I was looking on Reddit for encounters, I also saw that like there's a thing called a crawler. That a lot of the encounters, people would be like, I think you experienced a crawler. What is a crawler? Who knows?
Absolutely not.
I guess something else we have to look into. But yeah, so for the most part, they're within the Navajo Nation.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Especially in my head when I think about it. Okay, not that I'm like a huge expert on anything besides like what I've seen on TV or like video games or something, but a Wendigo would be kind of more like what's the word, like mountainy, that way.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like whenever I think of Wendigo, I think of a forest, not a desert.
Exactly. I was gonna say, I don't know if you're gonna like get into this part, but like I've seen TikToks and stuff like that where they're like riding a horse, and animals react to that kind of stuff. Are you gonna talk about that?
Kind of.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, like, when you can hear someone like saying like hey or something like from the desert and you're by yourself, like that kind of thing.
I was gonna talk about that. So it is said that in their human form they behave very weird, like very like not typical human behavior, like you would know,
like if you were interacting with a robot.
It's kind of like if you were interacting with somebody that was just like like a robot or like an alien
something
that's
that doesn't understand how humans operate.
Yeah, exactly. It's just very weird behavior. And they have the ability of like voice changing or mimicking, which is why sometimes I saw a lot of encounters where they said that they were inside their house and they would hear their mom or their dad outside calling them.
That they would know. To me in the first episode we talked about it, remember? And you said the same thing, that it was
and the encounter that I told you about, how they knocked on me and my mom's window? Yeah. I have a feeling. Because why didn't we find anything after?
I know, but you saw the footprints, right?
No, there was nothing.
There was no footprints. Yeah.
So
I don't like that.
Yeah. But so they have the ability to mimic.
Yeah.
It says that they use. So he was saying that they have the ability to do dog whistles, or he said more specifically bone whistles. So whenever your dogs or your pets react to them, they'll blow these whistles and hush them so they can get closer to you.
That's really scary.
That's incredibly
scary. Thought of everything.
No, they really did. And then apparently they create a specific poison or powder. And he said that if they get close to you, they'll like blow it in your face and they paralyze you. And you need to like have ceremonies done to reverse it, or you will die in a few days. And they also have incredible speed. He was saying that up on the res, that there's a lot of encounters where somebody will be driving home from work and they'll be going like 50 miles an hour because there's like nothing out there. And they'll just see somebody that's running at the same speed as the car. Like that's not human. So
Absolutely
it's like
not.
They have just like crazy abilities.
No way.
There's also a very common belief that skinwalker I keep saying it, I'm sorry, that they have the ability to just change into whatever they want to. But apparently they have to kill it and like kill the animal that they want to transform into. Yeah, and they have to wear their skin. So that's why there's a lot of videos out there on TikTok that it's like, I think my dog is a shapeshifter and stuff.
yeah.
And he was saying, like, I think it's really rare that they're gonna want to turn into your dog.
Yeah, it seems kind of random.
So I really don't think that that's the case.
I mean, unless it was just to get closer to you.
But I don't think they would be haunting. Yeah, I don't think they'd be haunting down a specific person in that case. So
I guess, sorry, my thing is like those videos where, like I said earlier, the guy on the horse and he's in the desert, literally looks like he's right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and that one I believe that one's
like in this specific video. Maybe I'll try to find it. And
just coming in from planting those trail cameras. There's vultures everywhere. It's odd.
yeah, he's on
the horse is like, whoa. Yeah.
But like you can hear the person say like hello or something like that from the mesquite
sounds weird
trees.
Because their voice is also very like monotone, or they'll say things weird.
Like, okay,
it'll be like, hello.
If you're not from a desert, you don't just find someone else in the desert.
No, it's rare that you'll find other people in the desert.
Like if you're going to the desert by yourself, you have to like know what you're doing.
Especially if you're not going to like a hiking trail.
Yeah.
Because hiking trails, obviously, there's going to be other people.
Yeah.
But if you're just going into the desert,
like even if you're hunting, you're still going to a place,
specific place
people go to hunt.
Yeah,
there's like locations for that.
There's only like allowed locations where you can do that stuff. But if you're actually going like into the desert, you're not going to find another person out there.
There's not just going to be someone that's like hello, and if there is someone there, there's probably something wrong, and they're going to be like, I need help. They're not going to be like, hey, like
No, you're so right. I've seen a lot of encounters that they're like, can I have a light? Can I have a light? Like, nobody in the desert is going to be like, can I have a light, like, to light a cigarette? No, absolutely not. Or you're never going to hear, like, a little girl out there. And a lot of times they'll mimic different people.
It makes sense to mimic, like, a child, because then this person's going to be like, I need to help this kid.
It's also very common for them to yell, like, help, help, like, in a very desperate way where people are tricked into thinking that somebody actually needs help.
Because also, like, if you're in the desert and you hear that, you're going to try to help them typically.
Yeah, because a lot of times that's not good. Like the desert's dangerous.
Like my first thought would be like, oh my gosh, someone got like bit by a rattlesnake or something. Yeah. Like something like that, you know?
But I feel like every time I've heard it on video where they're like, help,
it doesn't sound desperate.
It sounds exactly the same every single time. Like the way that they say it sounds like it's desperate, but it's like copy paste.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a rehearsed thing that they all know.
Exactly. Like if it was somebody who was actually in danger, you would hear it. It would be different. It would be they would be saying different things like "help, I'm stuck," or whatever.
Yeah, like
they'd be like, "I'm trapped in the cave."
Funny. You know? All of them are sitting like in a classroom, and they're like, "And this is how you say help
for real."
And it's like, repeat after me.
Help. But we'll include.
Crazy.
I want to see if there's videos because I know that there's videos, but I want to play it so that we can hear the audio.
Like
what they
a live reaction of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so like.
Compare and find top financial products today.
And then you can see it right there.
Yeah.
It's just literally standing like this, not moving, but it's the one screaming.
That's so scary.
Do you see how it walks? Like it looks very unnatural.
It brought like a little tear to my eye. That's so scary.
No, it's genuinely terrifying. Like if
even if that's just someone pretending, that's still a good performance.
I highly doubt that it was somebody pretending though. Like it didn't look like it.
Do you think that those things would allow themselves to be recorded like that.
I do think so.
I don't know.
Yes
I feel
and
like
no.
they're smarter than that.
Yes and no. Because it does say that they're very hard to capture.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't say that they wouldn't reveal themselves.
Yeah, I don't doubt that they would reveal themselves. I just feel like that
like to get them on camera.
Yeah, like such a zoom in.
For real. But I mean, they were at quite a distance.
Yeah.
They had
That
that
was a
iPhone
good
15.
camera, yeah.
But yeah, so terrifying.
Well, scary, yeah.
But I do know that they have to kill the animal that they want to shapeshift into. So if they wanted to kill your dog and wear their hide, they could. And then you would have a skinwalker in the home. But
it's rare.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's incredibly rare. They wouldn't want to turn into your poodle.
Your bougie poodle.
Yeah, like your chihuahua.
Yeah.
No. But
I feel like if they were gonna turn into an animal, they would turn into one that could like.
Yeah, that's why wolves and coyotes are the most. Bless you.
Thank you. That's why I stopped talking then, because I could feel it, and I was like, I want it to come.
You're like. So they typically appear as wolves and coyotes because they're like predators.
Yeah. Which makes total sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. So I guess they're very hard to catch, and I saw like different things to help you get rid of it, but you need like a very, very powerful shaman that knows how to get rid of them. So obviously you're not going to know if you're not part of the tribe, if you're not part of the nation. And if you ever come in contact with one and you need help, you like need to reach out to the res or like somebody who knows, because they're the only ones who can help you, really. They also said that you can like dip bullets in white ash, and he did say that a form of protection is to spread ash from a previous fire that you've prayed with it and like put it around your home, and like, cedar,
like doorways and like windows and stuff like that.
He didn't specify, but I would assume.
Yeah.
And cedar also like keeps them away, I guess. I don't know what the significance of it is, but cedar and ash. And then it says that if you're like trying to track one down, which I don't know why you would, but if you're trying to track one down, you have to pronounce the full name of the evil one or like whoever it was.
Yeah.
And it will get sick or die for their wrongs done on others.
But how would you know? Like,
I don't know. And he was saying, like in the video, he's saying like I've had first-hand encounters, like relatives who've become them. So I know when he said that, I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
He's saying that this is still a practice that people can do.
Like people can still.
Scary.
Yeah, I know.
That reminds me of like the thing about, I don't know if this is real or not, but like people selling their soul and their family soul to like the devil for like riches, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh my god, there's a case I want to talk to you about for a future episode of something similar to that. Yeah.
It's like the same vibe.
Yeah.
Or like not the same vibe. Not the right word. Like the same idea.
In a way. Yeah.
Similar.
But he did say that the biggest tool they have over you is fear. So obviously, it's kind of hard to not be afraid. But yeah. A lot of the tips that I saw online, if you ever come into contact with one, is to try to remain as calm as possible. And you can't run. You have to like walk, because if you run, it's like a dog. If you run, they're going to run. Yeah. And they're very fast, as we know. So you just have to try to remain as calm as you can, distance yourself, and find shelter as soon as possible. And it's the thing that they always say in Appalachia, like if you saw something, no, you didn't. If you heard something, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I forget that there's rules. Like, yeah. I think this is, okay, maybe this is not the same thing, but I think I sent you the video, I'm sure you saw it, from the Appalachian Mountains.
However you say it.
Mountains.
The Appalachians.
In the Appalachian Mountains, the person that was working in the restaurant, and he was like taking a video of himself talking on Snapchat or something. And it was in the camera back there.
I saw that. Yes.
I don't know if that's this or if that's, I think that's the just other thing that I don't want to say the name of.
I'm pretty sure that's just like a spirit.
It seemed a little real.
I don't know, but I did see that video.
I don't know, but
I know which one you're talking about.
Yes, the reason I brought that up was because I remember the comments being like, "You didn't follow the rules," and yeah.
If you live in Appalachia, respect because I could not.
I'm like, I want to hear more about this.
Yeah, for real.
About the rules and stuff like that.
I really do. And you know what? I've tried to look so much online and I can't find that much.
It's because they can't say anything about it.
Oh, that makes sense. Because of the culture and the tribe and everything, that's about as much information as I could have gathered. I looked at so many different sites and there was this much information.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's understandable and respectable.
Yeah.
Completely understand.
I feel like a lot of it is just coming from like
word of mouth.
Yeah, but also like experiences on like being alive. I don't know. I mean, I occasionally do get like the videos on my For You page
me
of
too.
just like I think the
Terrifying.
last one I saw was a girl and her husband like out in a field and she could hear herself talking back to her. And I think that's so scary because imagine you're alone in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you hear your own voice.
Yikes.
Like hearing someone else's voice, maybe you could excuse that. Hearing a family member's voice, you'd be like, okay. But hearing your own voice?
Yeah, no, that's
absolutely
for sure.
not.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like the quickest way to. But then also, I don't know about you, but I'm not the quickest person to pick up on that type of thing. I feel like if it was even myself, I wouldn't know that it was myself.
I know, I was just about to say that. I would be like, I don't even know what my voice sounds like.
Yeah, like I know, but I don't know.
Like I hear it 24/7 and I still don't even really know.
Same. But yeah, so that was the shapeshifters for y'all.
I really like that.
I mean, as much as I could find out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm scared.
I know. You're like, I don't want to drive home anymore.
I'm like, can I stay the night? That was scary.
Yeah, for real.
I feel like I just opened an old library book and I was like,
the ones that have like the stickiness on it from all the people who used it before left it all gross.
That's so primary school.
No, it's like it's because I don't like being sticky, so it was just like something that was always in my head, like, ooh, somebody else touched it. Germs.
That was weird. Anyway.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just wanted to get all the sticky out of whatever it was. I don't know. Anyways, my next one, I also I have there's different ways that I saw people pronouncing it. I'm gonna say it the way that makes sense to me, but I don't think
put the word up.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so qallupilluits. It's like cat.
Oh, is it supposed to be in like?
It's Inuit, I believe.
This is why you shouldn't go near the water in Alaska. These qallupilluits are responsible for
Qallupilluits.
Qallupilluit. Okay. So these ones are also kind of the same vibes, Boogeyman, La Llorona vibes of northern Alaska. Mm-hmm. But I also read that it was like Arctic regions in general.
Okay.
But I also think it's also a geography thing. I realized both of the ones that I picked have like silly little lessons in them, kind of like how a fairy tale does, you know? I don't know if I would categorize urban legends and fairy tales in the same.
I don't think so, no.
But similar messages, I guess, at the end. So basically, what these are the exact opposite of what a siren would be. So, you know, sirens, beautiful, alluring voices. They're mermaids, aren't they? Or like,
I mean, they live in the water.
Yeah.
Of the same genre.
Something similar. So basically they're the exact opposite of a siren. So they are green, they are slimy, they're like, I don't know if disheveled's the word, but long hair, long nails, scales, fins, you name it. But also I did read that there was a lot of different variations in how they look, and it's really just one of those, whoever you ask, however they grew up hearing it.
Oh, okay.
But basically, this is, again, same with the shapeshifters. For the Inuit tribe, it's like something that's been passed down. Not to say that it's not true, but also has been categorized as an urban legend. Yeah. So this thing, the qallupilluit, I read that along with this characteristic, they tend to wear same kind of how we talked about how you said the shapeshifters were mainly men for the most part. These are mainly female. Yes. And they tend to wear basically just like a parka.
Okay.
A parka that women in the Inuit tribe wear. That is.
But they live in the water?
Yes. So what I read about this is that, okay, well, backtrack a little bit. So the legend behind this is that these things will use their voices. They will hum a song, or they will tap the glass with their nails, or they will do something that can lure typically young children to the edge of the ice of the water. And then when they get close enough, they'll snatch them down, kidnap them, and nobody really knows what happens after that, obviously. There's been different things we're seeing. The kids are either eaten or they're like put in a paralyzed state where they're used to like feed the young, you know.
So either way they unalive them.
Yes. Oh, it's that's the debate. Like what happens to the children after they get, you know, dragged,
captured,
taken to the water. But the reason that they wear these parkas is that it might help them, you know, store the
kids.
Yeah. Like a pouch. I had seen multiple things about a pouch that
I don't like that.
Like, yeah, like different variations of a pouch. So the one that I'm like reading off of was the parka, basically. Anyways, so many variations of this creature, so to say. And I did put maybe can shapeshift. So like turn into whatever they needed to like lure children to the corner, which is so scary.
Yeah.
The tails. Okay. That they can be outsmarted by its targets. They are in an invulnerable state in their natural state, but some clever hunters found a way to bypass this, and they would call out to them, asking it to change shape for them, usually in something like a seal or a whale, and then they would kill it and bring it home, which is kind of insane because...
So they can be outsmarted?
Yes.
Oh.
Which is interesting because I don't know, when I think about things like this, I always think that they're smarter.
Too smart. Yeah.
But a tale is that children were willingly given away. So one tale is about a grandmother and her grandson who struggled for food. And the grandmother called upon these creatures. I don't know if creatures is the right word, but...
I guess you could say it is. I don't know.
Yeah. To come and take him away because she couldn't feed him and he would be better off with them.
Whoa, that is crazy.
Yeah. And then it says, once the tribe was able to successfully hunt again, a young Inuit couple took it upon themselves to retrieve said child. They were able to track him down, tethered to a piece of seaweed by the creature so it could not escape. So they tied it onto the thing to find the child. Did I misunderstand that, or is that...
Wait, read it again.
It says they were able to track him down, tethered to a piece of seaweed by the qallupilluit, so he could not escape her. Oh, the child was tied to...
Yeah, the child was tied up to a piece of seaweed.
That was attached to the qallupilluit.
Yeah, because it says so that he cannot escape her.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It says they were not able to retrieve him because the qallupilluit would drag him back under the waves whenever they got too close. They stealthily hid nearby all night long and cut him loose once the sun rose. The tale has different variations. Some versions have the grandmother giving the child to the qallupilluit as a punishment, or becoming a great hunter after being rescued.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
What a bad grandmother. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but...
Just, he'd be better off being in a sepsis-like state. Sepsis? That's not the right word.
Not sepsis. Like,
stasis.
Like, I was like, sepsis? No, that's what you had
on my mind.
Me. You were in a septic state.
This creature has been featured. I actually just found this out, but not just like now, but like earlier I had seen a video about it where it's a very popular children's story titled A Promise is a Promise. And in this story, a young Inuit child must outwit the qallupilluit in order to save her siblings. which I think is interesting because they
interesting.
can be outsmarted. But
I think it's so strange. Like, it's not strange, but I guess it's not common
yeah,
for something like this.
yeah. But
for
then
it to be outsmarted.
yeah, exactly. And then I guess the lesson within it all is like, don't go near the edge of the ice. Like, it's gonna get you.
Smart.
Kind of like.
It's like, ahí viene el cucuy.
Yeah, exactly.
Por ti.
I went to Reddit and I looked it up, and someone had also asked questions to hear it directly from, like the
People?
Inuit,
Community.
Yes, the tribe.
Yeah, the tribe.
Yeah. The whole idea of the traditional story is that in the spring, the children are not to play by the cracks in the melting sea ice, or they will be stolen by the qallupilluit to live under the sea forever. This one says that they have seaweed hair and they're very ugly and scary, so that children would be scared to play by the ice. So that's where, and it says have long fingers and webbed feet. So that's why it's like whatever you hear kind of thing, how they look. Which I just think is
crazy.
It's interesting.
I mean, like, either way, I feel like I'd be terrified to see.
Oh, I know. It says they walk upright like a person, have really long arms so they can reach.
They can walk on land?
I guess.
At least they can be outsmarted.
I know.
Their one weakness.
It says wide eyes and no pupils. Some have hair like seaweed, and they wear the fur, a parka, like we were saying, and store the children that they steal in the hood, which is made of duck skin, which I also did see on another site. Which is an interesting
duck skin.
Yeah. They live under the ice in the Black Ocean water and drag kids under.
Ducks have skin?
Duck, yes.
Oh, I thought it was just feathers.
But like, what would the feathers attach
to? You're right. You're right.
Anyway,
outsmarted me.
Yeah, so it's depending on the story in the area you hear it from. There are supposed to be warning signs, so parents and adults have time to get their children to safety and call them back to shore. A tapping sound under the ice of long nails, large black shadows under the ice, a somewhat deep humming noise, and a smell that kind of smells like rotting fish or meat.
That's crazy because I don't think I would hear under ice.
If I was a little kid and I heard that, I don't think I would think anything of it.
I don't think, no. Everything else, yes, I would absolutely.
The hum?
Yes. Especially the hum. But if I heard like nail tapping under the ice, because nail tapping is light.
Yeah.
I think.
But they have long nails. But
I mean, obviously longer than mine, but like, you know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ugh, like gives me the iffy.
But yeah, I think it's interesting because like it's something that we would never hear about that. Like,
no, we really
growing
wouldn't.
up,
yeah.
like
absolutely not.
Like it would be like, I don't know, you know, stay away from the water. But not
true.
like a,
but not even in that way. Right? It was because there's not really water here. So we don't really have much to like say stay away from the water.
I don't know. It isn't that kind of scary.
That's terrifying. You know what? I do believe like whenever indigenous tribes have things like this, I believe it because they come from somewhere, and I feel like they know things we don't know.
I know.
So I believe y'all. I believe y'all.
I believe it too.
So we're on to our final story for this episode.
I'm like,
I decided to talk about the Bell Witch. Have you heard of the Bell Witch?
I have.
Oh, nice.
I have. I mean, not like a lot about it, but I've heard of. Okay. I've heard some stories.
I've dabbled in the witch. So this place, this legend, because this one's actually like a legend. Nobody can really like. Takes place in Tennessee. More specifically, Adams, Tennessee, which has a population of 628 people.
Sounds like my hometown. No, I'm just
kidding.
That
was like
this complex.
Literally, that was like how many people I went to high school with in total. Like,
I was like,
no, not my class. That was like my class and everybody else.
Mine was still less than that. Anyways,
so and it does take place 200 years ago. So I'm going to tell you the story of the Bell Witch.
Okay.
I don't know if there's encounters. I don't know anything after that.
Am I gonna be scared?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You're like, gonna have to drive in the dark. So, in 1804, the Bell family, which consisted of John Bell, Lucy Williams Bell, and their 6 children, and get this,
Alexander Graham Bell.
These names are crazy, though.
Uh-huh.
Well, some of them are. Jesse, John Jr., Drury, Benjamin, Esther, Zadok, Elizabeth or Betsy, Richard Williams, and Joel Egbert moved to Adams, Tennessee.
Okay, wait, 3 things.
First thing, Egbert.
That was my third. My second was, how come it's always Betsy when it comes to Elizabeth? I don't understand how.
Wouldn't it be Betty? Wouldn't that make more sense? Betty?
Still, isn't Elizabeth Beth?
Yes. Could also be Liz.
Well, yeah.
Or Ellie.
Eliza.
Eliza. Listen.
And then my first one, wait, where are the names?
Drury.
Oh, Drury. Rule.
I know the same thing right now when I said it. I was like, Drury. I hadn't actually pronounced it out loud. So I was like, Drury.
Jewelry.
Drury.
I had a friend who couldn't say that jewelry. She'd say jewelry. Yeah.
Jewelry?
Yeah.
I try. Anyway, so they moved to Adams, Tennessee and bought 320 acres of farmland where they lived for about 13 years.
That must have cost like at least $3.
For real, that cost 50 cents. A whole penny.
And I buy 300.
Cost them nothing. They just showed up.
Oh, I wonder if it's still in the family.
I have no clue.
Ooh.
But so John Bell became a very like prominent member of the community.
Okay.
And he was like an elder in the Red River Baptist Church.
Okay.
And there's another like character in the story. I've heard very different accounts because I had already heard this story before on an episode of the Anti podcast, the Anti podcast that I watch. If you're a Spanish speaker, highly recommend. But so this character is Kate Batts.
Kate Batts. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And like I said, I've heard different accounts of her, but everybody in the community called her like old Kate Batts because she was like an older woman, but she wasn't even that old. She was probably like 40.
But you know, getting like a town nickname
for real. No, it's the same. But like she was 40, and at that time, like the life expectancy.
High.
No, yeah. So she was known as Old Kate Batts. And she was married to Frederick Batts. Okay. So this is where the story like changes. So she was married to him and she had 5 children, but her husband became paralyzed, so she became the breadwinner of the family. And she was also like very known in the community, not in good ways though, because she would get into arguments with people. She was loud. She would, if every woman she would meet, she would ask them for a pin. And she was like very, very like pushy with her requests for pins. And like clothespins.
Oh.
Yeah. And so people began making rumors that the pins were used to have like magical control over you. You know, I don't know. It's the 1800s. I don't know. Anyway,
There's
so
a witch.
Yeah, literally, she just needs a pin. She's a witch. There was that. There was also another version of so she was just like people started saying that she was a witch and that she would practice black magic, all these things. Fast forward a little bit, Kate ended up getting into like some sort of argument with John Bell. And this is where like there's other things that like different variations. The first one is because they fought over the sale of like a slave, which back then they had slaves. Yeah. Apparently Mr. John Bell was like a good slave owner, but I can't back that up.
I just feel like no slave owners were good slave owners.
Yeah. But apparently they got into like a fight over a slave.
Yeah.
In another version, they got into a fight over land because Kate believed that she was cheated out of land by John. I don't know. The point is, there was an argument between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so fast forward a little bit. Oh, sorry. So yeah, an argument broke out, and she decided to like take action against the family.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
yeah. So in 1817,
I'm like, how'd she even have the power to do that as a woman in the 1800s? Weird.
weird. I mean, there was only 600 people, so I don't know. So in 1817, they started to experience paranormal things going on in the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And it started when John Bell was walking in his cornfields, and he saw like a really weird animal that was a dog with the head of a rabbit. And so the animal started running, but John started shooting at it, and he thought that he hit the animal, but when he went to look for it, it just wasn't there.
Oh.
And there was other variations as well, where like the son saw a weird turkey-like thing, and then Betsy saw like a girl like hanging from a tree.
What?
Yeah, like really weird things. And so John didn't think much of this. I don't know how he wouldn't. I feel like that would be the only thing on my mind for the
I
rest
would
of the
be
day.
thinking about that for days to come.
I'd be thinking about that for the rest of my life. Like, what do you mean?
And that's a story that's still told.
No. There's a reason it's here. But it said that he just moved on with his day. And that later that night, outside of the cabin, because it was a cabin essentially, they didn't have,
Of course,
metal, cement, you know, they had wood, so they had a cabin. And so outside of their little cabin, they started hearing banging, scratching, groaning, and chains being dragged outside, which is crazy. Like the scratching and the banging was happening to their walls.
That's so scary.
And so whenever John and his sons would try to go outside to catch whoever was doing it, nobody was outside.
Mm-hmm.
Then they also started hearing stones being dropped on the floor, and it's not specified if they were being like thrown in through a window or if it just like appeared out of nowhere. I don't know.
I would imagine thrown in.
That's what I'm assuming too, but it's not specified. It just says that there was like stones being thrown onto the floor, and there was like, that was like for the first few weeks, I guess, that they would hear like disturbances outside and just the stones. And then the children started saying that there was rats gnawing at their bedposts, but whenever they would like start checking, there was no rats.
So there's just little like bite marks.
Nothing. There was nothing. It was just like the sound. And then they started hearing. They started getting their bed covers pulled from them when they were trying to sleep, or their pillows would be thrown on the floor by an an invisible force. Yeah. And then Betsy Bell started hearing whispers that sounded like an old woman singing hymns, and she began experiencing very brutal attacks. So the invisible entity started slapping her in the face relentlessly, and she was getting her hair pulled. She would often have like welts and handprints on her face and body from the abuse, which is crazy that an entity can do that. This
is so
like
scary.
They must have been strong.
Yeah. It's reminding me of The Conjuring, the witch from the first one. Yeah.
So at first, John Bell wanted it to be kept a secret because since he was like such a prominent member of the church, he probably didn't want them to be like,
he's like embarrassing.
Yeah, demons? Absolutely not. But as it started to escalate and get worse and worse, he confessed everything to his neighbor, who was also his friend, named James Johnston. I love how basic and yet weird the names are.
James Johnston. Okay.
So
JJ.
So in order to help John, James and his wife decided to spend the night with the Bells. And during the day, everything seemed like it was perfectly fine. But once the nighttime came, they started to experience everything themselves. And apparently James got his bed covers yanked off of him, and then he got slapped by the entity. That was the first night that he stayed. First and only night he stayed.
Not. Wait, is this cabin still?
Yeah, it's still up. Yeah, it's like a place you can visit.
Like, didn't Sam and Colby go there?
No, they did actually.
They did, yeah.
But yeah, so I guess at this point James gets up and he was like, "In the name of the Lord, you." Oh wait, let me start over. He says, "In the name of the Lord, who are you and what do you want?" And according to the source, the rest of the night was peaceful. And the next day, James told the Bell family that the entity is an evil spirit, the kind the Bible talks about.
He's like, "I've never seen anything like this before."
This is what God was talking about. What would an old Tennessee accent be?
I don't even want. I don't even know.
This is what Jesus was talking about. I have no clue.
When I think about old accents, it always goes back to being British.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But imagine a British Southern
Tennesseer?
accent. Yeah.
Tennessean?
Tennessean.
What's the proper word?
It's not a Tennessean. I have no idea.
After this, apparently the activity started getting so bad and the word had spread so much that General Andrew Jackson, the Andrew Jackson,
the one and only,
got word of it, like he heard of it, got an entourage of several men and horses and a large wagon, this is important for later, to go investigate the Bell property. So it is said that when they approached the property, their wagon got stuck in mud, but no matter how hard the horses tried to pull it, it just would not move. Like it just kind of like stopped, and it was stopped.
Interesting.
Yeah. So at some point, I guess, after trying and trying and trying, Jackson exclaimed, "By the eternal, boys, this must be the Bell Witch." To which a disembodied female voice told them they could then proceed and that she would see them later that evening.
What?
I don't...
Carry on.
Indeed. Move along.
Carry on.
I don't know if she'd have a hat.
Maybe she'd have one of those, like...
She'd just, like, bow down to that.
Curtsy.
I don't know, but she told them that they could get through.
Like, we're not making fun of you, Miss Bell.
We're not in Tennessee. I'm not scared.
Don't say that.
I'm kidding. I'm like, totally kidding. But yeah, so apparently while they were trying to set up camp, one of the men in the entourage said that he was a witch tamer, and that he had a silver bullet, and any evil spirit that he came in contact with would be afraid of it.
Be like, okay.
And then he could kill them all. I guess none of the men said anything because it said that immediately after this, he was beat up severely and he got pins stuck into him.
Pins! Ooh, that's not...
In the sense that... Yeah. So, apparently he was... After this, that he was attacked by the pins and got beaten severely, he was literally kicked out the front door with like a foot. I'm assuming he was like bending over and something went, you know?
That's so cartoon.
Because that's exactly what it said. Like, that's what the story was saying.
I know, but like, what are the odds? He's like, oh, I dropped this. And then right when he did.
Boom. Yeah. So, then the entity spoke to them again, saying that there was another fraud in Jackson's entourage and that she would be identifying him the following evening. So Andrew Jackson decided to stay because he wanted to know who the fraud was.
As would I.
As would I too. However, the next morning, the entourage was seen going back to Nashville, Tennessee, and said, Andrew Jackson then said, "I would rather fight the British at New Orleans than fight the Bell Witch." Which I guess must tell you.
What a funny comparison. Back in the
No, for real. Back in the early days of the United States.
He's like, I would rather fight the British.
Yeah, they were easy. Oh my god.
Crazy.
No.
I love that. I can't wait for in like 200 years for people to be like, it's giving.
I don't think they'd be saying it.
No, making fun of us for saying it's giving.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's what he said. And apparently a lot of the abuse was directed at John Bell and Betsy Bell. I'm thinking it's because she was like the spoiled one out of all the children.
Ooh.
So I don't know. I really don't know what it is because from what I read, the rest of them were pretty much left alone. Yeah. Specifically Lucy Bell, which was the wife, and John Bell Jr. They've literally gotten nothing done to them ever. Yeah, it was actually said that the spirit or the entity treated Lucy very, very, very well.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good for her. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, if it was me and my brother and he was being treated well, I'd be like, this is so unfair. I'd be mad.
Yeah. But so apparently everybody else, like the other siblings, occasionally got tormented, but not really.
Yeah.
But Betsy pretty much suffered the majority of the abuse. And
crazy.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
I know. It's all of this because of what happened is.
I'm assuming that's what happened because the pins.
Like context clues.
Yeah, they basically said that old, I don't want to call her old, but like Kate, that's because of her witchcraft ended up creating the spirit or the entity through her. So it's like her, she but invisible.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
It's so funny though that it's called the Bell Witch when it's Kate.
Well, I guess it's because it's haunting all of the bells.
I know, but like,
I don't know.
She's not even getting credit for her own work.
No, for real. I mean, she kind of is. She made them suffer a whole lot. But yeah, so the family literally thought that this entity was going to kill Betsy from how much it was making her suffer. And at some point, they tried to give her a potion to help her, and she ended up throwing up pins. And when that happened, the spirit laughed. Isn't that crazy?
That is so mean.
Yeah. And I guess the spirit went as far as breaking up the engagement that Betsy had between her and Joshua Gardner, which I guess was her boyfriend. But once the spirit found out that she was like happy, she was in a happy relationship, she was like, absolutely not.
She said, no one's happy under my watch.
Yeah, especially not you, Betsy. Betsy Bell.
Betsy's like, are you kidding? Another thing.
Yeah. So apparently when she found out about the relationship, it would constantly for months chant, please, Betsy, please, don't marry Joshua Gardner. I'm assuming that's what the spirit sounded like. But yeah, she ended up ending her relationship with Joshua out of fear.
That's crazy. For the sake of him or for her?
I don't know.
Somebody.
Both, maybe. Probably her. But then it is believed that the spirit did end up killing John Bell. It actually ended up nicknaming him Old John Bell, which is funny because the nickname of her was Old Kate's Bats.
Yeah.
So it would often curse, threaten, say really mean things to him. And really soon after the haunting started happening, John Bell had a really fast decline in his health. He started having trouble speaking, eating, swallowing. He said that he would feel like a stick of wood lodged between both his cheeks and mouth, and he started experiencing seizures.
That's so scary.
Isn't that terrifying?
That is so scary.
So then,
a stick of wood.
I know. I can't even imagine.
I know. I'm trying to like picture it, and it's not.
I don't know. Yeah. But so I guess on December 20th, 1820, after being in a coma for a whole day, John Bell died, and the family ended up finding a vial of black liquid in the cupboard.
I thought you were going to say in him. I was like...
No, like in the cupboard. And then trigger warning for anybody. There's a tiny mention of animal abuse / death. So please skip ahead if that bothers you. If not, keep watching. But when they ended up finding this vial of black liquid, they ended up like feeding a couple drops to the family cat, I'm assuming. I don't know why you would do that. But apparently it is said that once the cat got this in his system, it jumped in the air, rolled over mid-air, and by the time it hit the floor, it was dead. Yeah.
What?
And then when that happened, like right after the cat died, they heard the female voice said, I gave old Jack a big dose of that last night, which fixed him up. And then John Jr. ended up throwing the bottle into the fireplace, which caused it to turn like a bright blue, and it like shot up the chimney.
Oh my god. That's so crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Seeing it from the outside too,
see like
the blue, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then apparently after John Bell died, pretty much all of the activity stopped.
John Bell.
There's also a Bell Witch cave. I don't know the context behind it.
The cave, yeah.
I didn't have enough time to research, but this is just Bell Witch.
Isn't there the bridge as well? Or is that something else?
I think that's something else.
I'm just kidding. My bad. I'm getting my stories mixed up.
But what do you think?
Okay, so after he dies, it stopped happening to the whole family.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it didn't say anything about Betsy after that.
Yeah.
So I don't
think
know how
that
badly John messed up, but
clearly enough.
it was bad enough that even the slaves that I think they lived in the home as well. Like this was a big cabin,
yeah.
and they all shared it.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. He was like more progressive than other slave owners because I don't think they would have allowed that.
Like sharing a home.
Yeah. But they all testified. Like everybody would testify to this stuff.
I mean, if everybody's saying it, then I'd be like, okay, maybe something happened.
I would believe it.
I would too.
I believe in witchcraft.
But
And
like, it
stuff.
sucks now that you can't be like, no, it happened.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, because it's like a legend. You really don't know. But these places are real. These people, I'm assuming, were all real. I just think that's absolutely insane.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's really scary.
I would like. What would you do if you were Betsy? Because I think I would like.
I have no idea.
I don't know what I would do.
I don't know.
Because it seems like it would follow her places too. Because I think at some point I read that they tried to move her with like relatives and it followed her.
Oh my gosh. But I feel like if it stopped happening after my dad died, I would be like, would I be happy that it ended, or would I be sad that my dad was gone? You know what I mean?
I feel like it would be a little bit of both, right? Because in a way you're not being literally abused on the reg.
But now she's alone.
But now she doesn't have, I mean, she's not alone. She's got,
oh,
Mango!
Thanks for that.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Like, what was the point of he did it just to do that after? I don't know. I think that that's really scary. And I mean, at least it didn't follow like throughout every single person who lived in the house for generations, you know?
Actually, they say that the Bell family is cursed.
Mm-hmm.
And the spirit said after John Bell's death, it said it would visit them twice, or it would come back to visit other generations. And it did. It came back again in 18 something and then again in 1930 something, I think. I didn't read too much into it, but I know that it came back a couple times.
Well,
yeah.
I wonder if the
enough
family line
to the point that there's books. Like the great grandson of John Bell wrote a book about his encounter.
They're only a great grandson.
They're only. I mean, it's been 200 years. Only. But I think John Bell was older.
Yeah.
He was like an older gent. He was like in the 60s.
An older gent.
Yeah.
That's nuts, though.
I imagine John Bell looking like the Quaker Oats guy.
Ooh. Me too.
Is that bad?
Like
no disrespect. But yeah, that was the story of the Bell Witch.
No, that's nuts.
No wonder she was old cat Bates. I
thought it was Kate.
Yeah, Kate.
I'm like, wait a minute.
My brain just like...
Because we're hungry.
Yeah, we're hungry. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, watching. We are on Spotify now, so you guys can like listen to us over there. Follow our Instagram, our TikTok. Subscribe, like, comment, support,
share.
Yes. If you were crocheting with us last time, we really want to know what your projects were. That was so fun. We love that you guys were commenting all of that.
I hope you were crocheting during this one too.
Yeah. Crochet in any of our videos. It's perfect. Perfect for crochet. But if you made it this far, thank you so much. We love you.
Yeah.
We love you and our little lacas.
Little lacas. We will see you next time for a...
Should we say it?
No, we don't.
We're doing a part 2 of our bitchin' and stitchin' crochet. So join us.
Yay! See you guys next time.